Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. We're all about to start riding outside, and what better way to brag about those few rides than by recording them on your GPS, sharing them online. Devices like these Garmin's, the Wahoos, the Hammerheads, they're pretty pricey these days if you can find them. So I'm wondering if we can use a cheaper device like this iGS320. Is this good enough? Let's take a closer look together. And I don't know about you guys, but I have to admit that as of late, I got to appreciate long battery life. That's why we use this HR monitor. We love this little Brighton for that same reason. 130 plus that I reviewed, by the way. They say 12 hours. You don't get 12 hours, maybe 10, about 3 rides. If you look at the Edge 530 that I'm usually using, about 20 hours battery time, and I can attest to that. But compared to all those, guess what? This little 320 comes up to 72 hours, which is pretty impressive. Otherwise, we have navigation with all 5 GPS positioning systems available in the world today. That's pretty cool as well. Connectivity with N+ sensors. You have an USB Type-C connector for charging, and this is weatherproof. As for display, this is a 2.4 inch diameter screen. Inside the box, you're gonna get the little unit, ta-da! And here underneath, the cable and a mount and a tiny manual. If you look at this little guy, it has this squarey shape, but I like it that is not too tall like the Wahoo. This is very similar to the other units that I have in front of you here. And interestingly, the only 2 inputs that you have are here at the bottom. So you have 2 buttons. In between, you have a lanyard attachment, very similar to what Garmin does, but that little lanyard is not provided with the unit. And here you have the mount. You also have the charging port. You uncover it by just peeling that rubber off. Mount again is very similar to a Garmin mount that you see here installed on my bar. And if I am to try and use it, yeah, it works just fine. Again, this is a Garmin mount or a Garmin-like mount that is provided with the unit. I usually don't spend much time on the manual. Here, at the very beginning, it's going to tell you what the 2 buttons do, given that these 2 buttons are multifunctional, and this might not be that intuitive for all of us. Just press on the left-hand button. The unit turns right on, and here we go. It's a black and white unit, a quite big display. There's no fancy setups on this unit. You cannot really set up or change the fields that you see here on the screen. You have 3 pages that the unit can display. You have a Bluetooth connection to the phone, and as you continue on, you're gonna see information from the sensors. At this point, the unit is ready to go. There's no other setup necessary. However, the fields on the screen are gonna change if you connect various sensors to them, and you can see some of the sensors available. Some of them are dual N+ and Bluetooth. By connecting the units to your phone though, there's a few other things that you can set up. So go to your app store, download the app, and you can fairly easily add your device to it, connect to it, and here's your device. You have a lot of information here. One of them is even routes that you can save on the unit. You see this little loop that I have created, and believe it or not, you get turn-by-turn navigation here in this little window. You even have a firmware update option for this and a few other settings. I'll let you guys play with those. Most importantly for me is here you can actually link this to other programs, both Strava and Training Peaks, as options for connecting this device. All in all, pretty easy to set up, and it's pretty cool how the display changes as you're adding different sensors to it. But with all that being said, why don't we take this outside, see how it works. On the trail, this could be the perfect companion if you're not looking for anything fancy. It definitely records everything you might be interested in. Screen is nice and big. Under intense sunlight, no problem. Actually, this one is very contrasty in the sun. Garmin is not bad, but this is very good, very easy to read. If you do a lot of single track out in the woods, it's probably use it with a speed sensor on your wheel, because otherwise the distance that is shown here, it might not be as accurate. That's kind of normal when you're just recording the GPS signal under the canopy, despite the fact that this guy connects to all 5 GPS services available in the world today. Another thing that I noticed is that this little guy, if you go on slow climb, low speed switchbacks, it might go into pause by itself, thinking that you've stopped. Whereas if you have a speed sensor, it'll continue giving it good rolling signal. So one more reason to get that speed sensor used if you're doing a lot of single track. All in all, a very usable small little GPS computer that would definitely save your phone. You get that 72 hours of battery life, which is awesome. You get the basic functionality, basic sensors connected to it. If you don't need training, if you don't want to do intervals or things like that, this can be just the perfect device for that type of scenario. And for less than $100, you will get a device that, at least for our use, would be very beneficial. So what do you guys use? Do you use one of the fancy Garmin's, Wahoo's, or more expensive GPS computers? Would you be interested in something like this? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys found this useful. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, hope to see you guys on the trails. Cheers, guys. Cheers.